loud. Yeah, I can do that. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts beyond were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Play ball! All right, I'm a doctor, okay? So I've got this toxic substance to dispense to you. It's chocolate. Okay? And this probably, we should have kiss tenders because you know, we need to tend to these toxic substances. My dog got this chocolate, he died.
Right.
Guess what's in this kisses? Xanthines. Xanthines will kill your dog. It won't kill you. But we should be keeping track of these potentially toxic substances, don't you think? And have a pharmaceutical person dispense them. Of course, you can get these in the pharmacy. So, by all means, go to your pharmacist and get yourself some kisses. Okay, so I'm here to tell a story. And welcome people that are just walking in. Just let's keep it informal. My name is Mark Ibsen, and I've much closer, girl. Yeah. And so I've been an emergency physician for 30 years. Is this live? Test.
Yeah.
All right. How's that? Everybody hear me okay? So I've been an emergency physician for 30 years. And in the emergency department, I've been a ninja about treating pain. And guess why? I've had kidney stones, back surgeries, Achilles tendon rupture. I've had a lot of my own pain issues. So if you come to the ER when I'm on duty, I'm going to treat your pain very vigorously. So what happened, and how did I get into this conversation? I had a roommate who was dying of lung cancer, and he died in my living room in a hospital bed. And he was on high-dose opiates and Valium and a bunch of other stuff. And when he got medical marijuana, it settled him down, he eased up, and an ER doctor in Great Falls told me all about this. And when David took his first dose of medical marijuana, he looked at my daughter and said, "Hi Grace, how are you?" And those were his last cogent words, and he died 5 days later. So I'm like a convert. And when the guy from Great Falls, John Stowers, told me about this, he said, "Mark, have you paid attention? In 30 years as an ER doc, have you ever seen any carnage from marijuana use?" I said, "No, all the carnage I've seen in the ER is from the use of alcohol and people suffocating from their cigarette use." And he said, "Yeah, that's really all I see. And this marijuana stuff is really safe." And I was completely against this. I said, "I'm not using marijuana on my patients. They'll take my license away." Well, they're trying to do that now. So I began in my urgent care to start seeing patients who would come in and see me and say, "I got a card," and then they shut down all these caravans, "and would you renew my card?" And I'd say, "No, I'm not going to renew your medical marijuana card." It's like, why would I do that? But just for interest's sake, tell me what it does for you. And I can tell you that continuing a medication for someone who's already benefiting from it is a lot different than starting somebody on something. And you do that in urgent care all the time. People are out of their Prozac and you write them a script, or they're out of their Atenolol for blood pressure and you write them a script, and they're between doctors and you help them out until they can find a new doctor. Or they're traveling from California and they're going to Glacier and they're out of there this or that, and you get it for them. And so I began to realize that gosh, these people are really being helped by this medication. So I started doing renewals for patients. And when I did that, is that for me? Thank you. Oh my God. Great. When I started writing notes for patients, then they come back the next year and they tell me all the benefits. And I've had patients that have been on 24 medications and now they're on only 4. 80% of over 2,000 patients I've written cards for are off of opiates. Like, that's miraculous. It's such a miracle that anymore all I do is, yes, all I do anymore is when someone comes in for renewal, I ask them, well, what's your miracle? And they go, huh? Well, what do you mean miracle? I go, well, what miracle have you had by using this herb? And it's just crazy what people say to me and the benefit that they've had. And now, of course, the consequences of losing access has been terrible for at least 12,000 patients in the state. So I'm here to kind of tell you a few of my taglines, okay? So here's one of them. I have roofers who use medical marijuana, and they only get 14 feet high.
Ba-dum-bum.
What about the 6?
My patients,
Spiral.
a large percentage, probably 75% of my patients, are working and paying taxes and using less medical resources than people within the medical system. Marijuana states that have either legalized or a medical program have all had significant drops in Medicare pharmaceutical use. That is to say, people are using less pharmaceutical medications because they're using medical marijuana. What is not to love about that? The folks that really want to take this away from us generally have some sort of interest in controlling how we use our bodies.
Yeah, right. Endocannabinoid system, right?
Right. And yeah, the endocannabinoid system was described very well by Dr. Uphues in his.
Those choking monkeys.
Yeah, he was telling us all about that on the Billings Gazette interview. So I won't really go into the science of that, but truly, if we have endocannabinoids in our system, you know that we evolved onto a planet that had this herb growing. And so people who want to do, there's a person who runs a car dealership who says we should have double-blind, placebo-controlled studies. He and 6 other people are running this program called Safe Montana, and that's the only double-blind system I can see, is they must have their hands over their eyes and unable to see anything, because you couldn't even study marijuana with a double-blind, placebo-controlled study. You can't study acupuncture that way and other things that benefit patients.
Israel is just now starting.
So these people are tax-paying, working people. Now, the disabled people that I know that are on marijuana, those people are benefiting also. And they're able to get down on the floor and play with their grandkids. They're able to use less medications. Patients with seizures are benefiting. So, oh, and let me just say this about people with autoimmune illnesses. That question came up from someone here tonight. 50% of my rheumatoid arthritis patients are off of their Humira or their Enbrel or their methotrexate. So, like, what kind of miracle is that? Instead of taking some kind of medication that affects your immune system and makes you vulnerable to pneumonia, you can take an immune-boosting anti-inflammatory called cannabis, and then you can actually benefit without subjecting yourself to the toxicity of those medications. I've had pregnant patients on opiates get off opiates, deliver a healthy baby, and of course there's no studies that say that you can deliver a healthy baby while using medical marijuana. That's right, there was a Jamaica study, yes. Yeah, in the 1960s or 70s or something like that. Thank you, Elizabeth. And so helping somebody off a toxic drug that's going to make it difficult at delivery time is a no-brainer. So 3 of my patients have gotten off opiates while pregnant. And let's talk about other toxic pharmaceuticals that people want to use. Anybody here on gabapentin? Has anybody Googled gabapentin lately? The physicians that I know that are scared to write prescriptions for either marijuana or for opiates pass out gabapentin readily, like it's non-toxic. And the new studies on gabapentin indicate that it's neurotoxic. It kills nerve cells, and so people can't think straight, they're foggy, They get off the gabapentin, they get on marijuana or cannabis, and they're doing very, very well. So antidepressants are often used for pain, and those are very difficult to get off for some patients. And marijuana is available and it's safe. Now, Safe Montana thinks it's not safe. I don't know where they're coming from with that, because no human being in history has ever died from using marijuana or cannabis. So it's a useful herb. It's been proven to be effective, and it makes no sense to take it away from us through interfering with the political process that developed here years ago.
We chew out spit.
Now, Dr. Uphues and I were talking today. We were having this great conversation. He was talking about PTSD, and here's a little bit of science for you. I don't know much about the science. All I know is it helps people. But THCV is this terpenoid
Acids versus get it up.
component of cannabis that helps people with PTSD. And there's a lot of talk about putting THC in pills and then go through the pharmacy and have the pharmacist deliver it to you, and you can use your insurance plan, except the insurance companies are essentially not providing medications that are expensive to patients. So people who are poor or have lousy insurance, which is mostly everybody, aren't going to be able to access meds that are highly expensive and been through the pharmaceutical approval process that the FDA has. Let's talk about scheduling. Marijuana is now a Schedule I drug, which is an indication that it has no medical use, and it's as dangerous as heroin.
That's ironic.
And that it's not as dangerous as heroin, obviously. So why is it Schedule I? Well, they had a bunch of lies back in the 30s
Illiterates.
when
Kill them.
right when
Yeah,
prohibition
right.
ended. They needed something else to prohibit, so they decided to prohibit marijuana. So now marijuana is becoming mainstream,
Washington
and
royalty.
we want to prevent
Oh, they
something
fucked
else.
him
And
over.
so
Oh, they
now
fucked
we're
him
having
over
struggle with
royally.
opiates. Steve was talking in his interview with the Billings Gazette about how marijuana helps people sleep at night, and I don't know how he can sleep at night, but it does help people sleep at night. In fact, it's the best sleep aid there is. Everything else that we use for sleep to get people sleeping has side effects, terrible side effects. You're either zoned out the next day, or it accumulates or causes depression, or people use antipsychotics and people are a zombie the next day. And if you use medical marijuana for sleep, you can actually wake up the next day and function. Anybody got any questions?
Deadpool.
Deadpool. Yeah, good
Rejuvenation.
movie, like that. Okay,
Kill the illiterates.
all right.
Inexperienced, really.
Elizabeth, I think it's going to be your turn real soon here. What else am I supposed to say? What have I left out?
Zed.
I said, you know what I had to say is that I've seen 2,000 patients
Stick those fucking
and prescribed recommendations for them.
jars.
And those 2,000
See how they react
patients
in vial.
have benefited. It helps people that have PTSD. It helps people with bipolar. It helps people because it's a well-being herb. And we have not begun to plumb the depths of the benefit of this herb. And please vote yes on 182. It's got to pass. Thank you, everybody.
Hey.